I think at that time in the early 70s, we were really, really investigating and saying, wait a minute, what's our culture? You know, I know it's not this.
For us, como Chicanas, it was like a passion to find what they've taken away from us, to escarbar and get those teachings and share them. It was a mission to be able to say, this is who we are. This is not only who we are, but this is what we need, and this is what we've done, and this is where we're going.
For Margie, there was this grief and loss over the culture that she knows she was missing, the ties to Mexico, and I think that's also why she began to start collecting the posters. Was she recognized very quickly this type of communication that's happening through these posters is the kind of communication I want to support, because that is not what was allowed. There was no collective organizing during the 50s and early 60s. It was just conforming and oppression. And so this was the way she knew that the story of our people, this awakening of our people, was in these posters. So I think that was why she looked at me or her students she had and was like, I don't want to let this happen to you. I don't want you to go through what I went through.
There was no books about, you know, Chicana women artists, you know, especially queer women Chicana artists. And, you know, she started collecting all the posters that we used to do. And when we put them up everywhere, we even put them on telephone poles, you know, outside and anywhere where people would see them, at the stores, at the restaurants. But she was, I think, very interested in talking to us and just being with us and maybe documenting, you know, our work and collecting it.
In this room, we had, I'm talking early 60s, what we called wine and cheeses. We would put big sheets of white paper on the walls and in the kitchen and invite women to come. Women would come from San Jose, from San Francisco, from Santa Rosa, and we would have these wine and cheeses. And out of that whole meeting and wine and cheeses and getting together came the Chicana Latina Foundation of Northern California, which to this day gives scholarships for higher education for Raza women.
By that time, in 1984, a lot of the queer bars were closing. So we started to hang out together and form our own parties, kind of forming our own cantinas, so to speak, so we can dance and we can play music. And that's where Margie was very comfortable. She was just with a big smile on her face all the time. I think she was very comfortable being around us. And I didn't know all these years for the longest time that she had depression, because she was, to me, always a happy person.
We knew something was wrong. She had a difficult mom. She had a very difficult mother. And when Margie and her high school counselors said to her high school counselor, I want to be a doctor, a medical doctor, the woman laughed at her and said, you can't do that. Your people don't do that. And dissuaded her. So she got her master's at UC Berkeley in social work way before any other Chicanas. It's so interesting because es como una arma de doble filo. You know, one part of her was just like opening, like you said, opening, abriendo. But the other part was also the blade that cuts. You know, some of those openings were very painful.
Probably because of her own experience about her feeling oppressed growing up and repressed. Her goal was really to have these posters be one where Raza could see it. She was very motivated about making sure they understood their history, that they were proud of it. Because you kind of, if you don't know your history, you have shaky ground to stand on. And so that was her goal.
I think she took joy in companionship, friendship, on being observant, you know, and on things around you and around us. She was silently always looking. She said once, and did share with me, that there must have been some communication with us long ago before we even existed. It was just a connection. So Margie was that connection, and she connected us with posters and prints, and so I think that's what she gave, you know, to me, you know, that sharing, that we need to share this, you know.
The way she gathered the posters and her idea of having an archive that would reflect the different ways that that movement was happening and was manifesting was also about healing herself.
There you are, Margie. Mandale. Here we are.